Awesome. My name is Malin Martin. I am a District Small Business Liaison for Caltrans District 11. For those who are unfamiliar, District 11 covers San Diego and Imperial counties. Um, Before we kick off today's event, we would like to take this time to address a few housekeeping items for those who are not familiar with WebEx. As you all may have noticed, all participants are muted upon entry and videos are turned off. This will allow everyone's full attention to be directed to the presenter and minimize distractions. This does not mean we don't want to hear from you. With the number of attendees participating today, we do want to make sure that we manage everyone's comments and or questions effectively, but we also want this experience to be as interactive as possible. You can communicate with us by using the chat feature to write your comments. This feature might be hidden at first, so to utilize it, just make sure you click on the chat icon. And if the chat appears collapsed, click on the arrow on the right-hand side of your screen to open the field. You can also use the feedback feature by clicking the smiley face with a plus sign button. That'll give little emojis to clap or give a thumbs up throughout the presentation. And for all questions, we do ask that you utilize the chat feature. If we have time at the end of the workshop, we'll invite attendees to unmute and ask questions out loud, but throughout the presentation, just keep your questions in the chat so we can make sure we get to all of them. Michaela Howard and Tyler Hicks are small business liaisons for District 11 as well. And today, Tyler Hicks will monitor most of the technical part of this workshop, and Michaela Howard will also be assisting me monitoring the chat. I also want to mention that Caltrans ensures that no person in the state of California is excluded from participation in, denied the benefits of, or otherwise subjected to discrimination in Caltrans programs, policies, procedures, activities, and services on the grounds of race, color, national origin, sex, age, or disability. For more information on Title VI, please visit the link listed on the slide or contact title.vi@dot.ca.gov for any questions regarding the non-discrimination statement or the Title VI disclaimer. I would like to introduce Maria Ibarra, the Business Services Manager in District 11, to provide an overview of our Procurement and Resource Fair.
Thank you, Malin. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Caltrans District 11's third Prepare for the Fair workshop. Again, my name is Maria Ibarra, Small Business Manager here at the district. And so just a little bit of the background and kind of what to expect at today's workshop. This workshop is to prepare you, the vendor, for our 21st Annual Procurement and Resource Fair. And in this workshop, you will receive tools and resources that you may need to fulfill initial requirements for doing business with Caltrans. I will also first provide you with an overview of the procurement fair and some details about what to expect the day of the event, so you're not wandering and walking and be lost in the event. So we want to make sure that you're successful at the end of the event. Then we will also have our guest speakers from the Small Business Development Center. We have our Apex Accelerator, Department of General Services, DGS, our Caltrans Division of Procurement and Contracts, DPAC, Caltrans Office of Civil Rights, OCR, District 11's Administration Budgets Unit as well. Malin will also provide some closing remarks at the end of the workshop. And again, this is a 2-hour workshop, so please be prepared to take down any pertinent notes, information, as you will receive quite a bit of that today. So next slide. Okay, here we go. If you have not done so already, we would like to encourage you to register to our Procurement and Resource Fair. So you can see on the slide we have the link, but also a QR code. And so if you can multitask, you can do your registration right now. And we will also, if you don't catch it right now, you can also catch it later at the end of our presentation. And we will also provide this in via email as well after our event. So this event is hosted in partnership with the San Diego Public Agency Consortium at the District 11 courtyard here at Caltrans. Once inside the campus, attendees will be able to connect with our exhibitors. And this year's exhibitors, we have a total of 72 as of this morning. And so the exhibitors include our purchasers, District 11 purchasers from the Division of Administration, Maintenance, Corridors, Engineering. We have Design, Environmental, Traffic Operations, Construction, Planning and Local Assistance. We have our Legal and Land Surveys as well. So in addition to our district purchasers, the fair will feature exhibitors from our Construction Mentor Protege program and our Innovation Committee. So a lot of those folks that are here and are prepared to actually speak with you. You will also have a chance to meet members of our Public Agency Consortium and learn about their upcoming opportunities for contracts and procurement. And lastly, the fair will feature large prime contractors that frequently do business with Caltrans in the construction and professional services fields. So this event provides a key opportunity for your small business to network with our prime contractors, for subcontract opportunities on our projects. Pitch yourself to our District 11 purchasers as someone they should solicit quotes from, and also learn about opportunities to do business with our public agencies, such as our San Diego Association of Governments, or SANDAG, and the Port of San Diego, so among others. And our next slide. Okay, we have our map. Our District 11 courtyard is conveniently located next to the Old Town Transit Center. Attendees are encouraged to use public transportation, but if you see that on the screen, we have free parking also available on site, and it'll be at the front of our first building off Taylor, as well as in the back area as well. We have more parking in the back, so if you and both entrance or gates will be open for you to enter. Okay, and now that you know what kind of to expect during our fair, we'd like to bring in Cheryl Brown from our Small Business Development Center, SBDC, to talk to you about how to pitch yourself to the buyers once you get here. Welcome, Cheryl.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. I've been engaged with this fair for, I think, 15 years now, and it is truly one of the best opportunities for the small businesses to do business with a variety of different agencies. So if this is your first time participating in this fair, bring a lot of business cards and a lot of your capability statements. It'll be definitely worth your while. So my name is Cheryl Brown. I am the director of the North San Diego Small Business Development Center, hosted by MiraCosta College. We are one of 9 service centers throughout the County of San Diego and Imperial Valley. We are here to provide you with no-cost support in everything that you could possibly need with regards to growing your small business, starting your business. And I believe that my colleague, Mike Sabelico, will also be talking about all of the resources available through our partner and our resource partner, Apex Accelerators. So how to prepare for the fair? Let's talk about the one thing that a lot of small businesses don't fully grasp when it comes to government contracting. Next slide, please. You'll have to click it again. There we go. Thank you. So even though it's government contracting, there is only one way to generate revenue, and that is through marketing. And the government is no different, except that you do also have to follow the rules. And so if you are looking to increase your revenues, it all comes right down to marketing. And so when you are approaching these various contacts at the fair, and really anywhere, you need to understand 2 key components. Next slide, please. Number 1. None of these individuals exhibiting at the fair can buy from you right now. The only reason why they can't buy is that they don't even know you exist. And so that's going to be first step. So they can't buy from you. They don't even know you exist. And the second part of it is they won't buy from you because they don't trust that you can perform, you can be responsive, you're going to follow up, and this is part of, I'll call it like the game. So number one, your buyers, these people, these individuals, they are people first. And so you need to let them know that you exist and that you're also going to follow up. And it's very simple, believe it or not. Next slide, please. The stages of marketing. First stage is name recognition and introduction. And then the second stage is creating an open dialogue, developing trust. And the third phase is the sales. These are where revenues are generated. You cannot control the third stage. The third stage is solely responsible or solely controlled by the points of contact, by your buyer. You can only control the first two stages of marketing. And so look at it kind of like driving down parallel roads. You drive on marketing freeway, your buyer or your customer is driving on sales freeway. You can never, ever, ever get to drive on sales freeway. Only your customer drives on sales freeways. And so you are hopefully driving along parallel. You're creating name recognition. You're creating an open dialogue. You're building trust because you're being responsive. Eventually, what will happen, if done correctly, is your customer is then going to merge onto marketing freeway. You're going to know this is happening when your customers start asking you questions and not a moment before that. So you're fully responsible for your introductions, your name recognition, open dialogue, creating trust. And believe it or not, this can be super, super simple. Next slide, please. It comes down to the introduction. Short, sweet, to the point. Your name, your company's name, what do you do? And be specific about this. Do not, please, do not say, what do you need? No. If you are in an industry where you have the capabilities of offering a variety of different products or services, focus in on your top 3 sweet spots. And then, what have you done? This tells your customer that you have the capabilities, that you have experience. Now, if you are a fairly new business and your company has no past performance, certainly reference your experience. And then ask an open-ended question, such as, what is your department currently doing in the areas of procuring or outsourcing, and then fill in your product or service. So, for example, my name is Cheryl Brown. I am the director of the North San Diego Small Business Development Center. We provide no-cost support to the small business community to include support in government contracting, marketing, and human resources. This past year, we've worked with over 1,500 small businesses, helping them to increase their sales by over $27 million. What is your department currently doing in the areas of outsourcing your small business support? And then you wait. You listen. What are they saying? What are their responses? This is all about getting an open-ended dialogue, getting them to respond. Now, there's more to it, not much more, but there is more to it than just what is coming out of your mouth. We all have heard the saying, first impressions last a lifetime. So remember, your body language, your tone of voice, your eye contact. Are you smiling? Are you being aggressive? All of that is taken into consideration. This is your first impression. Make it a good one. Make it last. I always joke, there's 2 types of VIPs. There's a uppercase VIP, very important person, and then there's the lowercase VIP, very irritating person. If you are approaching your particular customer and you're aggressive and your tone of voice is hostile, whatever it might be, your body language, that's going to speak volumes. Trust me, these are people first. They have a lot of rules they have to follow, and these aren't their rules. The people that you're going to be meeting at the fair did not make these rules. If you have a problem with the rules, I've been telling you, I have a problem with a lot of the rules, but it's not their fault. That's legislation. That's beyond what they do. So it's not their fault that they have these rules that they have to follow. So please don't yell at them. It's not their fault. Be a resource for them. See, as a business owner, you do not sell. You want to educate your customer as to why they should choose you. You want to inspire them to want to do business with you and be a resource for them. Make their jobs easier. So before the fair, what I want you to do, next slide please, is I want you to just get a piece of paper out. I want you to follow those prompts. I want you to just write it down. Write it down and then practice it. You want to make sure that you know this quote unquote pitch like the back of your hand. And so here's a tip. And it's super, super uncomfortable. I will tell you that it's very uncomfortable. Set up your phone and record. Leave the room and then walk into the room approaching your phone as if it is one of the exhibitors at the fair. And do your pitch. Pretend like the phone is that person. Whether you're going to shake their hand, whether you're going to have the eye contact, all of that good stuff. Keep doing this until you can re-watch that video without cringing. I know back in the day we used to use the mirror. The phone and the recording is so much more powerful because you'll be able to really see, like, wow, is that how I approach my customer? I didn't even realize that I was being aggressive. So approaching your customer or approaching an exhibitor and saying, you know what you're doing wrong? And yes, I've heard that before. No. Practice, practice, practice. And I am more than happy and willing to provide you with feedback. So if you want to do a recording of your pitch and you want to send it to me for a review and for helpful suggestions, I'm more than happy to do that. I will put, see here, oops, chat. I will put my email into the chat for everybody. Posta.edu. And if you want to record your pitch and send it to me for review, I'm more than happy to provide you with some feedback. Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful event. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. And once you have an opportunity to come on by, say hello, and I'm more than happy to open up for questions.
All right, does anyone have any particular questions for Cheryl that you want to write in the chat? Fern asked, can you put the prompts up on the presentation once more?
Sure. You know what I'll do is I can put them also in the chat for everybody.
Awesome. And Cheryl, I'm not seeing your contact in the chat. Are you chatting to everyone?
Nope, I was not. Let me try that again.
There you go.
All right. Yeah. Okay, so I just sent out my email to everybody.
There we go. It's in the chat
and now. Here are the prompts. Yes, I was speaking directly to you. There we go.
Perfect.
Remember, this is, consider like this whole approach as like when you first start dating someone. It's like, I don't know, you're in the grocery store, you're in the produce section. I'm not quite sure why it's the produce section, but it is. And you see the body across over near the lettuce. You don't go over there and start just going blah, 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 talking about your ex and talking about how terrible things have been and how tough it's been for you. No, this is like dating. You want to set up your first impression, and all you're trying to get at this point is a reason to follow up, a reason to maybe get that phone number or get that first date. So please, less is more, and these are people first.
Awesome. Cheryl, we have one last question, and that is, when do you suggest sharing our capability statement to the potential agencies?
Great question. My response is always when they ask for it, because this will give you an opportunity to follow up. And that's another thing, my 2 cents as I close out here. This is your first impression. This is your first time. This is your first engagement. Very rarely are you going to generate revenue right at that introductory moment. You've got to follow up. You've got to follow up. You've got to engage. You've got to keep an open dialogue. And it's not all about you. It's not about all work and projects and what do they have, what can they do for you now. It's what can you do for them to show that you have the capabilities and that you're going to be responsive.
Awesome. Thank you, Cheryl. There are some more questions in the chat that I'll be getting to via chat, but thank you for your time presenting with us this morning, Cheryl. And I would now like to introduce Mike Sabelico from Apex Accelerator.
Good morning, folks. And I guess am I supposed to be on the right-hand side there, Malin? Is something wrong? Can you hear me?
Yes, Mike, we can hear and see you just fine.
Okay, perfect. All right, well, good morning, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for attending. This is one important step in trying to get some business, as Cheryl said. I've been working with the Caltrans team for about almost 8 years now on this particular event and other events. So Caltrans has an awesome team, so thank you for having both Cheryl and I here today, folks. And they're an agency that really stands behind their goals of working with small businesses. So it's a great agency to work with. Again, Mike Sabelico, I'm the Regional Director for the San Diego, Orange, and Imperial Apex Accelerator. Go ahead and hit the next slide. So what's our mission? Our mission is to help small businesses in San Diego, Orange, and Imperial counties. And same as Cheryl's program, this is at no cost. We're paid for by tax dollars, funded by the Department of Defense Office of Small Business Programs and by the California Office of Small Business Advocate. And you can see in that small pie chart there all the different types of businesses that we help. Next slide, please. So what do we do? Well, we do a lot of these webinars, and this is a rather short one. Usually our webinars last about an hour to an hour and a half, and they're on a variety of topics: how to write a winning proposal, how to write a capability statement, how to perfect your pitch, and some more detailed ones specifically for Department of Defense on FOCI and DPA Title III, CMMC levels. And then we do help you with market research. I really believe that it's better to teach you how to do the market research so you can keep your pipeline full as a small business than to do it for you. Plus, we don't have the staff to do it for you, not with all the small businesses that we help. But the meat and potatoes of what we do and what Cheryl's team does is the one-on-one appointments that you have with an individual counselor. You will set up the appointment time and you'll set the agenda. You'll let us know what you need help with and we will get you the help. If we don't know the answer right away, we will find that answer out for you. We're part of 97 other accelerators across the country. I haven't been hit with a question that we can't find the answer to. We may not know it right away, but we will certainly find out the answer and get back to you. Next slide. We handle San Diego, Orange, and Imperial counties. If you happen to be in LA or a little further north, there are 7 accelerators in California. Due to our grant funding, we are restricted on who we can help. We can only help businesses in our region, and our region covers Orange, San Diego, and Imperial counties. So if you are outside of that and you need a contact, I'll go ahead and put my name, my email in the chat as well, and you can email me directly, and I will introduce you to the PM for that Apex Accelerator. Next slide, please. Again, I've already went over this, our funding. However, I didn't touch on local sponsors. So we get money from the federal government, the state government, and we get some money from our local sponsors. And without that, we would not be able to provide you the service at the level that we do and at the cost, which is no cost. I hesitate to say free because sometimes people associate free with not so good. But our services, along with our sister organizations, the SBDC and the Women's Business Center, are exceptional. We have very, very seasoned advisors. They know what they're doing. They know how to help small businesses, and they enjoy helping small businesses. Next slide. Some of our local sponsors, as you can see, a variety of, we have some large construction primes, we have some water districts, we've got Sandag, we've got the County of San Diego, the Port of San Diego, Department of General Services for the state, and a host of others. So you can see that we have a wide range of people that want to see this program succeed and are directly wanting to help small businesses. Next slide. You can see what we did in 2023. It's about 170 million in contracts. The various lines there will tell you the different types. So not bad results for our program. Next slide. All right, so government contracting. We'll talk a little bit about this. As you prepare for the fair, think about these concepts. Do some homework. Know what agencies buy your products and services. So there'll be a host of agencies there, not only Caltrans, but other public agencies as well, and do some research on those agencies. One of the worst things you can do is walk up to a booth and say, what do you guys buy and sell? You want to show that you've done some homework. You've invested some of your effort. You want to know what Caltrans buys. You want to know what San Diego Unified buys. You want to know what Sandag buys. So you have a little bit of research, a little bit of homework, so that when you walk around to these various organizations, you have a sense of what they buy. And you'll figure out whether they buy what you sell or not. So it may not be worthwhile to stop at a booth if they're not buying what you're selling, or they're buying just a little bit of what you're selling, so it's not at a amount that it's going to be worthwhile for you to chase it, okay? Find your niche. Competition is fierce, so if you have a niche, make sure you know what it is and you know how to give your value statement. Cheryl talked about that pitch. In that pitch, you need to have what you sell and why should they be thinking of you. Understand areas of government spending, like the federal government. They have a 4-quarter system. That 4th quarter is usually used to spend some excess money if it hasn't been spent. This year is a little bit strange with the administration, so we're not sure if we're going to see similar type activity. But traditionally, in that last quarter, if agencies and organizations within those agencies haven't spent their money, they'll have backlog lists. So find out what that is. Find out how they work. Make sure you know and you have quotes and information ready to give those organizations very quickly the information they need so they can spend that money before that quarter runs out. And then know your competition. So if you're competing against other companies that provide services and they're on a 3, 4, or 5-year contract, know when that contract is up so that you'll be prepared to bid when that comes up for recompete. The second or third time a company is on a 3 or 4 or 5-year contract, they become vulnerable on price, because what happens every year? They start giving their employees a little bit of a raise. They try to make a little bit more money. And if the agency is very happy with them, it still could be very hard to displace them. However, at some point, they could price themselves out of the contract. I've seen this happen time and time again. So the second or third iteration of a contract, that company will become vulnerable on price. So know your competition, know their contract that they have, and know when they're coming up so that you can be prepared to bid against them. And you can have that information prior to bidding it about what they were awarded at for the last contract. That's public information. If you need some help trying to find some of that stuff, certainly become a client of ours and we will help you do some of that market research. Next slide. Okay, so certifications. Cheryl and I are in agreement on this. Some people say, go get every certification that you can get. We don't agree with that. We say, go get the certifications that you know are going to give you leverage with the potential client that you want to chase. So if you know that you're going to chase the state government, for instance, you're not going to go and get a women-owned business certification because the state does not recognize that. Prop 209 prohibits that, and the state of California has small business and disabled veteran business enterprise, and that's it. So you're not going to want to chase the women-owned small business certification or the HubZone certification because those are federal certifications. Now, if you're going to chase federal contracts, you're going to know that you're not going to want to chase the state small business certification or the DVBE because that's a state certification. So make sure you understand that. Get the certifications that can help you get leverage with the potential customers that you think you have the most likely opportunity to place bids with and win those bids. So if you're going to chase city contracts, look into that city certification. If you're going to chase, like I said, federal or state, chase those. Now, you can get them all if you're going to be spreading out yourself and trying to bid with all these different agencies. but don't get them just to get the certification. You want to make sure that the agency that you're chasing, that certification is going to give you leverage, okay? And then you talk about other certifications. The state of California has a California Unified Certification Program, and they also have California Public Utilities certifications. So that's something just for the utilities, and they have different certifications. And if you're interested in chasing utilities, please become a client of ours, and we will help you figure out which certification you need to go through. And that's run by the Supplier Clearinghouse. But again, there's certifications for almost every agency, every city, every county. You got to make sure that those certifications are going to be worthwhile. Next slide. Okay, so for any of these certifications, these are the documents you're going to need. I highly recommend having these on the computer so that you don't have to print them out, copy them and email them to somebody. Everything is done electronically now. There's not a single certification that is done by paper anymore. So you want to have adequate financial resources. You want to be able to meet the requirement schedules. Your past performance, 1 to 2 years. The government is often looking for that. Strong integrity and business ethics. I firmly believe in that. Karma is a big thing. And you're going to have experience and leadership for your personnel. You got to make sure you have the technical staff and the skills necessary. Accounting and operational controls. If you don't know what GAAP is, you probably need to have an appointment with Cheryl's team or mine to make sure you understand what the accounting requirements are. If you're producing something, you got to have the facilities, right? Required equipment and tools, and be eligible and qualified to receive the award. Don't don't bid on an award if it's a women-owned small business set aside and you're not a women-owned small business. That's going to get you into some deep trouble. Next slide. Okay, final thoughts. It's all about the customers, okay? Target the right buyers. Target people that you think are going to buy from you. Understand what drives their purchasing, whether it's the federal government or the state. There's different drivers for each one of those types of clients. Align your strengths with Caltrans priorities if you want to sell to Caltrans. So understand that. And again, you can get help from either Cheryl's team or my team on understanding what each agency's priorities are. Be ready to perform. Past work, capacity, and financials, like we talked about. And let the agency demand, not assumptions, guide your strategy. So it's all about targeting yourself to the right customer and then making sure you're ready to do business with that customer, be it certifications, past performance, or just contacts. It's all about business development. At this fair, you'll have plenty of time to meet a host of different agencies. And if you don't know what they do, that's fine. You're going to meet so many. But if you're really targeting them, kind of do some research on it. Next slide. Okay, we've got some upcoming webinars, and I'll leave that. This is available to you, so you guys can join these webinars at no cost at any time. Next slide. That's how you connect with us. We're all over social media. Next slide. That's how you sign up for individual consulting. And again, you're going to get these slides, so don't worry about it. Next slide. That's an example of how to fill out the application on our CRM. Next slide. And questions. I'm 1 minute over, Malin. I apologize.
All right. Thanks, Mike. It looks like we have one question
Okay.
asking, can you expound on what you mean by adequate financial resources under the required business capabilities? How would this apply to service-based businesses?
It's a great question. So typically when you get a service contract, that agency will not begin paying your invoices for 60, 90. If it's a federal contract, sometimes 120 days. You need to have the adequate financial resources to pay your employees. Okay, so you're going to need to pay them before you get paid. So a line of credit or some kind of way to make sure that you can pay the employees is going to be needed on any type of service contract. On those commodities contracts, for those of you that are out there, just be ready to understand that you might have to pay for those products in advance prior to getting paid. So you have to factor in the cost of money in your bid if you're going to be paying do we know what fiscal quarter we are in? So the last fiscal quarter is July, August, September. Yeah, for the federal, it's July, August, September. The state's different. Their last quarter already just ended, and it ended June 30th, and July 1st starts a new state quarter. Every agency is a little bit different, so you got to figure out which agency you're tracking in order to figure out what quarter they're in. Appreciate that.
Okay.
I'm going to let somebody from Caltrans answer that.
Yeah, Anil, we do have someone from our Division of Procurement and Contracts presenting later today, so you can ask that question to Greg Miller when it's his turn. We've got DVS next, and then we'll get into Division of Procurement and Contracts, so you can hold that question and then just like copy and paste it again when Greg is presenting so he can get to that. Thank you so much, Mike. We really appreciate your time here. The rest of the questions I'll type it in the chat as we move along through our presentation. Thanks again, Mike, for presenting.
You're welcome.
I would like to introduce Josh Kress from the Department of General Services next. Thank you so much. Welcome, Josh.
Thank you very much. You have no problems hearing me and everything? We're good to go? I'm gonna say
correct. We see you, we hear you.
good. All right, I'll always check it. All right, welcome. My presentation is a shortened version of our How to Do Business with California State Government. We're going to get right into the meat and potatoes in this quick presentation. My name is Josh Kress. I am a business outreach liaison for the Office of Small Business and DVBE Services. Also, you'll hear it referred to as OSDS, as we like our acronyms, and that's with the Department of General Services. We are the procurement division for the state of California. Procurement facilities, they're kind of the business arm, if you were to say, if you were to describe it. Let's move forward. So the key to understand is there is a statewide participation goal. It's actually not just a goal, it's a statewide mandate. It's codified, it's law. That 25% of all small business or of all procurement transactions need to be with certified small businesses and 3% with certified DVBEs. Next slide. What that looked like in 23-24 was out of a total of $13.35 billion in contracts done, $3.55 billion was spent with certified small businesses. This is 26.58%. We actually exceeded that goal. And then $625.8 million or 4.69% were with DVBEs. So we're already beating the goal, and that's not something we want to stop at. We want to keep growing this. Every dollar spent with a small business locally turns out to be almost $2 in benefit to the economy, to the local economy, versus barely a 1-to-1 ratio with larger businesses, especially those out of state. Next slide. So we have our systems are really easy. We only have 3 certifications. One's pretty much the same. Small business for the purpose of public works, and disabled veteran business enterprise. The SDGW certification is just for small businesses that are that do public works projects or contracts. If they've grown past the $18 million cap for qualifying as a certified small business, then there's the PW, which allows for a higher cap as, costs are higher, margins are lower, they're much bigger projects. So a small business in that category is considered different. You just need to remember, you always want the SB first. So even if you do public works, you're a contractor who does just road work or whatever else, start with the small business. You're able to bid on any project. So let's say there's a non-public works, paving project. Well, now you'll qualify as a certified small business versus if you just have your SBPW, you can only utilize the certification for public works projects. And then DVBE is just that disabled veteran business enterprise where you have to have at least a 10% service disability along with a few other caveats. Next. So the certification benefits, there's a 5% bid preference for small businesses, and then up to another 5% incentive for DVDs. So if you qualify for both, if you're a disabled veteran and a business owner, and you also qualify for the small business, you could have up to 10% bidding a preference on your bid. That's up to $50,000 for the 5% for small business and $50,000 for DVD, totaling $100,000. So imagine you're bidding on, you put $100,000 bid on a smaller contract, and a non-certified company does as well. Well, yours is considered at $90,000 for consideration of lowest bidder when looking at that. So it really does help a lot. There are exclusive contract opportunities. There are some that are required to only be with certified small businesses or certified DVBEs. It'll be in there. It'll be procurement by procurement basis. There's the Prompt Payment Act where you'll have small business advocates that can assist with you, and there are some different kind of purse strings and things that come with that Prompt Payment Act, as well as reciprocity partners, other agencies or departments that utilize our certification either for their certification processes or on a one-to-one basis to where they actually just utilize our certification, and that's accessible to be certified small business with that entity. And then working with prime contractors. This is always the best way for a lot of businesses to get their first kind of contract dollars and things like that, is working as a sub for a prime. These bigger jobs, they still need to have, they usually have a percentage, which is almost near 25 or more, of their contract work being done by certified small businesses or DVBs. So there's a lot of opportunity there where they need to utilize you as well. And that's actually where Prepare for the Fair can come in really handy, because there's going to be a lot of primes who definitely want to work with certified small businesses on their big contracts. Next. So small business eligibility requirements. You have to be independently owned or operated, not dominant in your field of operation, principal office located in California, owner or officer of the corporation domiciled in California. So if you're an employee-owned company, every employee has to be domiciled in California. Learned that fun one. 100 or fewer employees total. Gross annual receipts, or what we call them GARs as well, is less than $18 million. It's including affiliates. So if you are a part of multiple businesses, we take in consideration of the total annual receipts for all the businesses combined. And then if you're a manufacturer, you don't have to have the 100 or fewer, or you have to have the 100 or fewer employees, but there is no cap on your GARs as you are a manufacturer. Next one. Small business for public works, 200 or fewer employees, gross annual receipts are less than $43 million with affiliates. Next. SBPW, like I said, get one certification, not both. Get the SB, always SB for everything. And then you only need to get the PW when you're going to break that $18 million threshold. Next. So the eligibility requirements on DDBE, I touched a little on 10% service disabled as determined by the VA, not us. You have to be at least 51% owned by disabled veterans. If it's an LLC, 100%. Veteran owners must reside in California and managed and operated by disabled veterans. So if the owner's not the operator as well, then their day-to-day operations and management has to also be done by a disabled veteran qualifying with a 10% service disability or more. And the headquarters must be in the U.S. So they can be outside of California for the headquarters, but the owners still need to be domiciled within the state. All right, next. CaliProcure, this is the online marketplace for the state of California. This is the only place that you'll see our contracts, the state of California's contracts, posted. Next slide. So you'll just go to CaliProcure.ca.gov, which honestly what I just do is I Google CaliProcure. So, again, Just that's the best way is when in doubt, Google. I do that a lot for our own sites also. So once you're there, you're going to log in or register in that top right corner. Next slide. And then you're going to create a new registration. This is going to be your first step to certification. You're going to build a bidder profile. And then once you have your account, let's go next slide. Okay. I'll finish then. Once you have your account, then you'll see within there the opportunity to get certified. There's a big old button, and then it breaks you down to a cut sheet, which is the next page of all that you need to do to be ready to certify ahead of time. All the work, 95% of the work, in my opinion, is getting your documents together. And the easiest way to summarize that, having been a small business owner, a restaurant owner of all of them, myself, wishing I knew about all these programs, is that it's document wise. The best way I always put it is the same kind of documents I needed for my business bank account. You know, short of the vial of blood and everything else my bank wanted. Yeah, it's not that difficult. It's getting those documents together. Keywords and UNSPSCs. They're within the process of creating your bidder profile. We ask about them, and then also when doing your certification. There are ways to be found in the search on CaliProcure, as well as being notified for opportunities. So keywords and UNSPSCs describe business services, allows buyers to find businesses. When you're certified, you are listed on our directory. There's no other way to be listed on CaliProcure. So when buyers from all departments in the state or other entities outside the state that know our certification program, they go to CaliProcure, and that's the only way to be found. Your keywords and UNSPSCs along with your profile can be edited at any time. All right, next. Keywords describe a good and service like concrete, environmental, or legal. Buyers can find your business through those keyword searches. You pick the keywords. There's a lot of minutiae to that. I highly recommend, after getting your certification, setting up a one-on-one with our office. All the links I'm talking about in docs should be provided to you after this presentation if needed. But highly recommend doing a one-on-one with us afterwards to go over your profile and go over your keywords and UNSPSCs to make sure you're as searchable as possible. Next up. UNSPSCs stand for United Nations Standard Products and Services Codes. They're essentially they're essentially the equivalent to NAICS codes for the feds. They are not the same, and they do not transfer. They do not translate between them. They're an 8-digit number. They identify a good or service, not an industry, and that's what we utilize for both the search, for business search. If a buyer knows what code they use all the time, they may just put that in and see what companies have that listed, or to get notifications on bidding opportunities. If those codes are listed within the opportunity, then you'll get an email notifying you. If you're getting a lot of emails notifying you for jobs that are not in your wheelhouse, then you probably used the wrong UNSPSC code, and it's catching those. Next. Here's a quick example. So the 8-digit code, you'll notice there's 4 levels of hierarchy. So, and it's kind of like a funnel. So the level 1 is the first 2 digits, level 2 is the first 4, level 3 is the first 6, and level 4 is the full 8. When doing your codes, they'll either be in the level 3 or 4. Just remember, level 3 having that 00 is not a catch-all for all the level 4s. You want to pick all the level 4s as well. Sometimes an opportunity will be listed just at level 3 because there may not be a level 4 that matches exactly. Or sometimes it's just at level 4. So you want both. So if you're checking a level 4 and you didn't think a level 3, worked, if that's the level 3 for the level 4 number you picked, you want to pick that level 3 as well. Next up. All right, finding contract opportunities. There's a big search button. It's one of the easiest things to do, and everyone kind of finds one on CaliProcure. It's called the California State Contracts Register. It's the publicly advertised bid solicitations. Here's the deal with that. It's usually for over $250,000 contracts or 400 and something in public works contracts. Anything under those dollar amounts do not get advertised or do not need to be advertised. The buyers are actually searching for you and reaching out to you, asking you if you would like to bid, and sending you the information. So having your profile information correct is very key, as well as having those keywords and codes correct so they can find you when looking for businesses that can bid. You know, it's really hard. There's a lot of unresponsive businesses, so having the right information makes a huge difference. And you'll be remembered the next time they need to reach out for bids as well, even if you didn't get it the first time. Next one. So finding that CSCR, you can either utilize the quick links box at the top as a drop down. I always use that because it has more than just finding the contract, the opportunities. It also has finding a vendor, looking up leverage purchase agreements, and also researching past purchases, which I think we'll touch on. So next slide. When you're logged in, you also have that search button right up there. Next slide. And this is what it kind of looks like. This is a quick snapshot of the opportunities that were available at the time. You'll see there were 460. Usually goes between 350 to 600 is what I've seen the range be at any time. So they're constantly new opportunities popping up and other ones expiring. It's very key to see the end date and make sure that your submission is not even a minute later than that. It will not be accepted. Next one. When you click into it, you get to see the event details as here. You'll see the different buttons for, looking up the package, which is the documents that come with it. Posting an ad, a vendor ad, which is you posting an ad for yourself saying, hey, I am a sub looking for a prime, or primes can post saying, hey, we're looking for a landscaping sub, or we're looking for a striping sub on a, public works project, or with IT looking for a data entry sub, things like that. Next one. This is what the vendor ad looks like. Fill in each box. In the description, don't just put in, hey, we're a company, we've been this long, we're good at these things. Actually post it, saying, hey, after looking at the submission or this bid, we're able to do this work, we're experienced at this, here's why, this is what maybe equipment we have, what staffing we have, there's no limit on space. So really put it out there so when somebody's looking, you're answering all the questions. Also on the event details, you'll see a pre-bid meeting. If it's mandatory, you have to attend. If it's not and you're a sub, still attend. This is how you meet all the clients interested in bidding, not just ones that will respond to you. So it's a great way to network and find primes and get out there and say, and possibly be part of multiple bid packages yourself. Next. All right, and that's just kind of what the ad looks like after having been posted. Next. Advocate. So every department that spends over $100,000 is required to have a small business advocate. Their job is to help certified businesses contract with their department, assist businesses with prompt payment, help buyers use certified businesses, and seek out new certified businesses. Here's the reality. They usually have another job, and this is added work. They're not who you pitch to. They're not who you go, hey, can I get time? I think this product will be great. They're someone who you're going to send your capability statement to. You're going to say, this is what I offer. If you have anybody looking, please, refer them to me or forward this kind of capability statement. If they notice or they're being asked by buyers like, hey, we're having a hard time finding these kind of vendors, they're the ones that will be coming back to you, will be looking for the buyers, maybe utilizing Cali Procure, because a lot of buyers have hard times with that. Next. All right, to find them, there's a few different ways. So you're back on Cali Procure. Next slide. Oh, there's an animation. You're going to go to Find Training and Resources, that bottom right box. Next slide. And then you'll go down to Research and Marketing. Click, I believe there's a little animation to that. Yep, down there. And then I can barely read it, but that's for the Find State Advocates. Click next. and it takes you to this page. And that first link gets you to the advocate directory, so you can actually find them, as well as there's other helpful resources on contacting and interacting with them, their roles and things like that. So next slide. And this is what that directory looks like. It's a live view via Power BI of the advocates for each department. You'll notice some have multiple with their contact information and things like that. So they're that conduit between you and buyers. But again, remember, their time, they're stretched in multiple ways. They're helping in however ways they can. Being sweet versus sour always goes a long way, and understanding and acknowledging that their time is being taken up in so many different ways will really go a long way, in my opinion, when reaching out with the capability statement. Next. So resources that you have. SBDCs, which was talked about, accelerators as well as scores. It's a organization of retired executives. It's for business mentorship. I know some of them have lost their funding this year. Other ones were able to secure funding from other sources. So, just go to the SCORE website to look to see if someone's available if you're looking for mentorship. But usually small business, that DBC is always great for new businesses starting up. They do have a program focused on existing certified businesses and on contracting. Same with Apex Accelerators. They're really, their focus is government contracting that Mike kind of went over. They're really that great resource. I say use them both. These are free. These are the things I wish I knew about when I was a business owner. Next. And yeah, thank you for attending this and participating. You'll see us at the event. And if you have any other questions, I'm here for that. And I also provided an email with all my resources, links, and all that to District 11. So you'll have that as well.
Yes, thank you so much, Josh. One question from Alex in the chat was, is it possible to sign up for notifications for requests for bids based on UN classifications?
That's exactly what happens is when you are registering, it asks for those UNSPSCs, and you'll pick whatever ones apply to you. In the initial registration, you can also pick ones that are aspirational, and that's your bidder profile. And then when you're going for your certification, in your certification application, you're able to pick the UNSPSCs that apply to solely what you do, not what you may be able to do or aspire to do. And both those will trigger notifications. So if you don't have a certification, but you have those UNSPSCs, which are always editable in your bidder profile, then you will be getting those notifications as long as you select that when you're building your profile. Which if you forget to or you're not, you can always go into edit bidder profile and change that option.
Awesome, thank you. The next question is about UNSPSC codes as well. Would those be considered for the state of California while NAICS codes are federally based?
Yeah, so we utilize those. Every department is different. Every municipality is. NAICS codes you'll find more in locals and federal because a lot of local contracts utilize federal dollars. It's a case-by-case basis. I can't speak on anyone other than the state of California. That is all we use. So y'all know that.
Thank you. That also speaks to the following question as well, which was asking if those are common across state, federal, and city. So you even spoke to the local component. Thank you so much, Josh, for your time with us and for presenting. We really appreciate you joining us. Next up will be Gregory Miller with Caltrans Division of Procurement and Contracts. So welcome, Greg.
There we go. Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you for putting me behind that guy, because that's great information that I reference a lot in having these conversations. Good morning, everybody. My name is Gregory Miller. Actually, can you go ahead and today we're going to talk about procurement contracts, what we do, what we don't do, and a little bit of stuff that's already out there for you, for Caltrans. So again, my name is Gregory Miller. I'm a branch chief here in the Division of Procurement and Contracts, non-IT goods. Procurement and contracts is not so much that we don't do all the buying. Our role is really more policy based and compliance based. So we take recommendations and direction from the nice folks at the Department of General Services. We determine what works for Caltrans, what we want to be. If we want to be a little extra, typically Caltrans, because we're as large as we are, we like to be a little extra. And then DPAC actually develops those guidelines, those rules, requirements, and we provide training out to the folks in the field who actually do procurement to make sure that we're all taking the right steps and we're compliant with the rules. So that's what we do. We're complete in compliance, verifying that all the proper steps were taken and documented appropriately. So we're at the back end of the process, really. One of the things I really love about Caltrans in general is that the purchasing is really done at the very lowest possible level, which means that it's the admin types. It could be an office tech or a staff services analyst in one of the maintenance stations that's actually doing the buying. I like to bring that up because one of the things I love about this particular the District 11, they actually have folks from those units hanging around. So you actually go up and meet the people in the units that are doing the buying. And that's where, ultimately speaking, as a former salesperson, and I know how much I love to prospect, that those are the people you want to get in front of for the vast majority of what you want to do, and then start working your way up from there. For most small business stuff, you A&E people got your own track. I love you though. So that's what DPAC does. Now we are also a great starting point. Again, I've got scheduled to appear next Wednesday is David Prisnich, the division chief. He's very great guy, ton of knowledge, very, very helpful, really understands how truly important it is, the work that we do here, and connecting folks with the right folks to make sure that everybody's given a good opportunity to do business with people we've done business with in the past, but also we're always looking for that next new best vendor that we love to death. And we hope that you will be that person. I'll be there. Again, I'm a branch chief and non-IT procurement, and I'm also have the small business liaison duties specific to DPAC. So when you send your emails with your capability statements and such, those will come to me and I distribute out from there. Just part of what we do, and it affords me the opportunity to do things like I'm doing today. Also going to show up is Rob Jacoby, who's my cohort in crime. He heads the branch B. Also does small business liaison work, which allows him to travel for these as well. So can't miss us. Actually, Rob is going to be the taller one of the group, and David Prisnich is just under him, and you'll probably miss me altogether. So that's okay. Let's go to the next one. So we'll be there. We're looking forward to seeing you folks, and it's really one of the better fairs. So I'm going to cover a couple quick topics. You'll notice that I put the contract advertising on Cali Procure in there because I think that's something that's extremely important. It is one of the most valuable tools that the state makes available to you. And it's a wealth of information. And again, if I was out prospecting, I'd be living on Cali Procure. So thank you very much for doing such a wonderful presentation and encouraging folks to get out there. So thank you. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. Next screen, please. All right. So what I like to talk to people about and show you folks today is resources that are available today. Caltrans does a staggering amount of work to make an astounding amount of information readily available for you folks to use today, right now. We know that you folks, we've got a lot of work to do. We need stuff and we need people to do that work, and that's where you guys come in. So we want to make it as easy as possible for you to find the work and the opportunities, and we want you to be found. We want to make it easy for our staff to find you as well, to make sure that you're alerted for these opportunities. So when you go to the dot.ca.gov website, there's a banner that goes right across the top, and there are several things that are on that banner that have a staggering amount of information, and I'm going to talk about 3 of them today. All right, next please. I like the Caltrans Near Me because it allows you to find specific individuals in specific districts. So if you notice there, you're given a map of California. If you don't know already, Caltrans is split up into 12 geographic districts, most because each one of those districts has very different needs. and allows us to stay nimble and keep the traveling public moving. I like to use that expression. So you've got a map. You can see where things are on the map, and you've also got a little hyperlink right there. You notice the stuff that's in blue. So you can actually select the individual spots. When you do click that link, it does take you to one of the district's actual web page that they have that'll have district-specific information. Extremely handy. I always forget where District 12 is. It's the weirdest thing. I just can't remember. Oh, yeah, that's a cute little dark orange one down there kind of tucked in. So, but this is a first place to go to so you can actually grab the different districts. Can we get the next slide, please? Okay. So in this particular case, I'm going to take us, I believe, to District 8. They're a nice large group, one of the larger districts that we have, a lot of open area. But this is information that will be specific to that particular group, for that particular place. So you'll notice right there you've got all the projects that are currently running out in the area. It's got contact information and NTCs and customer service, and you can actually. One of the things I love about this, each one of these websites, you can actually submit a customer service complaint about a pothole, about something falling down on the road. If it's on the highway or one of the bridges, then you can report it back to Caltrans so that we can know about it and do something about it. So we love having you folks available to provide information to us to help us maintain and do our job and bring things to our attention. Okay. Go ahead and the next one. Okay. Programs. So we've got 12 geographic districts, right? And those are just the physical districts, mostly for maintenance purposes. Within that, we have programs and divisions within Caltrans that actually have the responsibility. So DPAC, Division of Procurement and Contracts, we do buying. You want to buy stuff, we help with that. You want to contract for stuff, we help with the contracts. We help make sure it's all done properly and legally and based on our rules and regulations and laws. But there's many divisions within Caltrans. So you'll find that if you think you've got a maintenance thing, but that maintenance item is actually handled within maintenance by 2 or 3 other groups that have their hands in the pie, it's just more levels of folks that you can contact with, understand how things work within Caltrans, and then move forward. So these are opportunities for you to focus your attention when you're out there looking for work and trying to drum up some business. Prospecting, I think is what they call it. A way for you to kind of focus your attention on your particular specialty, your particular product or service, and find the folks that really do the work with that and in that area so that you can start, just finding out what opportunities are showing up. So next one, please. This is all publicly available, folks. You can go to this today and do all these things right now. So in this particular case, I went ahead and selected a screenshot from the folks there in maintenance. When you take a look at the budgets, maintenance is a huge portion of what we do. Yes, we like to build things, but most importantly, after we build them, they have to be maintained. So we've got an entire maintenance group. I like to point out 3 things on here, and again, ton of information that's available, and again, have as much fun as you want to. But I do like to point out there's a customer service line where you can select that link. It'll take you to customer service, and you can tell them about something that fell down on the road on Highway 265 between this area and that area. There's a rock slide. You can report that as well. It's very cool that you folks, the traveling public, the people out there in the world, have the ability to alert Caltrans to these things so that we can dedicate resources. Personal favorite, there's a list of every maintenance station up and down the state of California by region. So every single large-scale facility up there on Highway 80 where they've got 14 bays of goodness and, bunk houses and all the other good stuff, all the way down to a single sand shed that's on the side of a mountain. Those locations will all be listed in there. So, again, prospecting opportunities is who's in what area, where am I at, what do I do, how does my commodity fit or service fit into that area, how do I get to talk to these people and start encouraging them to, let you know when opportunities are coming up or potentially solicit you for bidding. So lots of information. And last but not least, contact us. Generic email box, you can send in any question you want. And I really do, and I've seen this in action because DPAC gets a lot of things sent over to us. We may not have the right answer for you. We may not be the right location, but I'll try to forward you to the right people, just so that you can establish that next contact and who the next contact is, because you never know where it's going to take you and help you, with the next opportunity. Let's go to the next one, please. Okay. So my personal favorite is this working with Caltrans, which seems pretty, people think, oh, there's jobs. Well, jobs are in there too. But you want to work with Caltrans. There is a just amazing amount of opportunities and information that is out there for you. Most importantly, a couple things I want to point out in particular. Actually, you'll see that procurement and contracts is on there. So again, you can link directly to us, and there's a lot of information about what we do. But it doesn't handle the actual buying of goods, not up front. But we're there. You can get to us. And I guarantee you, if you send an email to our communications team, it'll come to me and or my cohort, Rob. But there's a lot of information that's on here. And again, I'm going to talk about 3 items that are on there that I found particularly good. Let's go to the next one. So if you click on the projects link, what you'll get is all projects currently advertised, which is absolutely cool. So you can see what's being advertised by Caltrans, which by definition will also be on Cal eProcure, because everything we post on the CSER is going to go over to Cal eProcure as well. This is just another opportunity for you to make sure that you're getting information and how you register with us. So you can, like I said, you can search by projects that are, if you know the project number, you can do that. You can search districts. You can, actually, it's a whole lot of fun opportunities. A lot of information just about what it's all about and how to do what to who. It's again, a lot of information to read and digest to kind of point you in the right direction. And if you notice in there, I did actually take, as of the 17th of July, this one was available there in District 1. It's a $3.8 million opportunity for folks, which is actually very, very cool. It tells you when it's open, when it's closing, where it's located at, what you're going to be doing. It's got a bunch of links at the very bottom regarding subs and suppliers. It's got information for primes, for subprimes. So again, that are associated directly with this particular project. Oftentimes, folks aren't big enough to be a prime, but they can be a sub, they can be a supplier, and these are places that you can go to, opportunities that you can investigate and register yourself for. Make sure that you're included in those conversations, and possibly, again, it's all about opportunity. I can't guarantee this is going to work every time, but I know, hey, these are places that you can go to where you can at least get your hat in the ring, which I think sometimes is the single hardest thing to do. The most challenging for folks is figuring out how to get their hat in the ring. Next one, please. And again, I apologize. I'm kind of zipping through these things because all of this stuff is out there on our website, and I encourage you to go to the dot.ca.gov website and just start clicking through and gathering information. The first 2 or 3 times through, it'll all be like a big jumble. It's a lot of information. But these are some very specific opportunities that you can use to gather information about what's currently out there. So next screen up is the Contracting Opportunities portal. So it actually shows you a map, gives you the map. You can click in the map for the area that you want to be in, or you can click the link. You'll notice on this particular one, a little small on my screen. So as of July 17th, this particular map had 39 projects that were currently available up and down the state to be able to bid on. And again, this is Caltrans specific. But this will give you a means of either clicking in the district you want to, or you can use the map. It's the same impact. Just another way to get information over to you nice folks. But this is how we're thinking. Some people think this way, some people think that way. Well, here's 2 classic opportunities for you to get the same information, just 2 different ways. And it's a matter of what works best for you. And we're always trying to improve that. Go to the next screen, please. So in this particular case, what I did is I selected District 11, went in and clicked on the little thing there at the very bottom, the heel of the boot, as it looks like. And what you'll notice, it actually brings up projects that are available there in District 11 specifically. In this particular case, there's only 1 project currently available as of July 17 when I did this. And essentially, you'll see that it's got the project ID hyperlinked as well, so it'll take you to information, or more information specific to that one. It tells you the bid due date, which is also critically important, and what all is involved, the who, what, and where in a very simple sentence. So this is what's out there. So you can actually very quickly scan to see what's available in the area you want to be in, and is it something you might do or be, you might want to be a supplier. You might want to be a sub. I'm not sure how you guys want to run your business. I just want to let you know that there's great opportunity there to make that work for you. Okay, next please. So one of the largest areas of information you can go into is the contractor's corner. And I got to tell you folks, take some time. Sit down, take some time, go through some of these links. There's a lot of descriptions about what to do, when to do, how to do it, where to link to, which I think is absolutely amazing because it's for people who are contractors. This is big stuff. What I wanted to highlight here is at the very bottom of the screen, there's a tab section that has obviously a lot of information. So the one on the far left is just general information, contacting us, interest registries that you can log on for, flyers that you can set up for, things that may not apply to you or may absolutely apply to you. It's just opportunities to gather more information and possibly set yourself up for success. The second one I tossed over, the next one I tossed over was advertisement. You can look at projects that are advertised. The 24-month look-ahead report. I think that's also one of the coolest things that I've seen us do, is there's a look-ahead report. So we're telling you, hi, in the next year or two, we should be doing these things. Readily available for you folks to take a look and see if this is something you can gear yourself up to be part of it, or at least put it on your radar of making sure that you're involved in it. Okay? With that, actually, the last one is bids. Where you can listen to live bid openings via the phone. I've actually seen that happen in person. It's kind of interesting. You got the calendar, you got electronic bidding information. I mean, if this is stuff that you're going to be doing and you want to work with Caltrans, this is all information that is readily available today for you to use. And I can't stress that enough. Readily available today for you to use that to help your business, to help establish your business and do business with Caltrans. Okay, next screen, please. So again, if you notice at the very end of this, so we're almost at the end of my presentation, and what I like to hit on with folks routinely, and when I talk to when I talk to staff, and I talk to the folks out in the field and the districts when they're doing their procurement, and they're trying to figure things out. Where do I find people? Is there a contract for this? This is part of the training that we do. Cal eProcure is an invaluable resource for us doing the buying, right? If you're not registered as an SBDVBE, that's the first place our folks are looking is for SBDVBEs. We push that. Small Business Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise, DVBE. This is when you register go through that process. The nice man who spoke before me talks about. This is where it can be found. Caltrans staff, all 23,000 of us, and I'd say about 19 or 20,000 really pretty much can do procurement. They're directed to this particular tool looking for small businesses, looking for any statewide contracts that may or may not be out there. They're looking at past purchases. And again, 15 or so years of statewide purchases are listed on here. So if you want to find out if your product is being purchased and who's doing the purchasing, this is where it's at. Not just for Caltrans, but for everybody. I can't encourage you enough to spend as much time as you can on Cal eProcure as well as the Caltrans website to do business with not just Caltrans, but do business with the state. Okay? And again, notice we talk about the UNSBSC codes. Very important because if something goes out on the platform as an opportunity and you have the wrong codes attached to your registration, you may not get that notification. Don't miss the opportunities that are being handed to you. And these are being handed. Next screen, please. All right. And so again, I kind of hit on these things all at the same time. As you guys can notice, it's a bit of a pattern for me because I talk about these things all the time. When you go to the Cal eProcure website, you can search for the contractor, the CSCR, which is a contractor registry. You can search bid opportunities. You can look for whatever's out there, statewide contracts, small business opportunities. And again, if you're registered with these folks, you can get automatic notifications about bid opportunities, which I think is, it's a set and forget. As long as you do a good job the first time through, but as your business matures or changes up a little bit, you want to make sure that information continues to be updated. So Caltrans spends a really impressive amount of time, effort, and energy doing events like what they're doing in next week. And I really hope that you guys all take the opportunity to come out and see us out there. Deepak will be out there. You'll see OCR, all kinds of folks, and meet the folks from the different groups that are out there. That was the coolest thing that I got to do the first time I was there, was go out and say hi to people that I had been working on purchase orders for 3 years at that point. It's really, for me, very gratifying to be able to put a name at the face, and to be able to answer their questions and take care of them. So that's a great opportunity. So I recognize how great opportunity it is for you as well. Next screen. Okay. So questions, concerns, what have you? We're here to provide all the help that we can. We are looking forward to seeing you kids out there. We will have some handouts with some additional information about top commodities and contact. So looking forward to it. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak today and for listening. Really appreciate y'all's time.
All right. Thanks, Greg. We do have 2 questions in the chat that I want to ask you. There has been some discussion in the chat, a very valid discussion in the chat, about how it can be a barrier to small businesses that, procurements under $250,000 don't have to be advertised. And that's a legislative issue that we don't have control over, but do you have maybe feedback for small businesses that want to get their foot in the door for some of those unadvertised bids that are under that dollar threshold? And Josh, you might be able to jump in as well from DGS's perspective.
Yeah. So the $250,000, it's under $250,000. That's because that's the limit for SBDDBE solicitations. That's a law. Until they change that law, we're a little stuck in that respect. Basically, you got two types of procurement. You got formal and informal. The non-IT side of the world, we live in, it's informal land. High volume, relatively low dollar. I'm not saying we do, inexpensive things, but $250,000 in the grand scheme of things is not a huge amount of money. So what I address that every event that I go to is how do I get those opportunities? Well, first and foremost is contact. Like I said, Caltrans, the vast majority of Caltrans purchasing is done at the lowest level possible. They don't want managers doing the ordering; they don't have to. They'll have somebody a step or two below who do most of those types of admin work. And the trick there is to get together with the admin. What I like to do, and I'm going to steal some thunder from my man, is what I always tell folks is the single best way is to get out there. If you can get into the NTCE, great. If you can find their name and information in the divisions and contact information, great. I tell people every day, Cali Procure is your friend. You got 15 years of purchases to look at. You can sort it by Caltrans if you just want to work with Caltrans. You can type in whatever commodity you sell, and you can see every single purchase that's been done. Now, this is where you got to be careful because you got to make sure you're using common language, because what you refer to it as may not be how somebody refers to it when they put it in the system. So you may have to search around a couple different keywords to try to come up. A shorter search is better to start, and then you can narrow from there. But when you go into Cali Procure with that, it'll give you when it was purchased, what was purchased, how many dollars were purchased, and it'll talk to you about who the requester was and who actually processed it. Actually, it'll give you the processor, or if you see a CPO, which is a credit card purchase order, that's a CalCard buyer. We have over 1,600 CalCard buyers up and down the state. That is the individual who's using a credit card that they have in their name to buy stuff. That's an end user. That is the golden opportunity, and that's where it starts, is getting yourself into a group where, you know what, all you need is an opportunity. DPAC, part of our compliance and, procurement in general focus, we encourage everybody not just to use small business or DVBE providers, but it's not just limit yourself to 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, The folks in our HQ warehouse, they solicit 5 vendors when they go out, because A, they want to make sure we got a good competitive bid, and B, you never know who that next favorite vendor is going to be. We may find folks that we're just happy to work with, but after a while they're not as focused on the business with us as they are with their new shiny new toys. So we may find another vendor who's more interested in working with us or getting things back faster, giving us a little bit better price. So best thing you can do is exactly what you're doing right now, which is involve yourself in these types of events. Get out there, meet the individuals. And again, District 11 does a really good job of getting individuals from the different groups there. And that's, every event that I've attended subsequently, this is the first event I attended as a small business liaison, and I got to tell you, it blew my socks off. And it continues to blow my socks off. But just the opportunity that it's there for you, this is where it starts. This is the prospecting. So it's on you to do that. And we'll give you all the help we can.
One thing I'll add on that is to find those past purchases. Greg, you hit it perfectly, dude. Is when on Cali Procure, the fastest way, that top navigation bar, you're going to see quick links. Again, I call that my marketing section. You have the CSTR right there for the person. You have again, you can look at your profile and other vendor profiles by searching that. The bottom option, the fourth one, it literally says find past purchases and SETRS, which we call skippers. And really, long story short, is that's where you find that last 15 years. And you can get a simple data pull, or you can actually do a massive data dump if you like to go just sift through data. So definitely everything else Greg said, yeah, hit the nail on the head.
Awesome. Thank you both very, very much. We appreciate your time and for answering that question. And thank you for presenting, Greg. We appreciate your presentation. Lots of great information there. I would now like to introduce Nikisha Earl. She will be presenting from the Caltrans Office of Civil Rights about our Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Certification. Welcome, Nikisha.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Thank you guys for having me. I am from the Office of Civil Rights, and I am fairly new to the fair. So again, thank you for having me. All right, first slide. All right, so today I'll go over just an overview of the program, some of the requirements, the process, and things of that nature, and I will be happy to answer any questions along the way. Next slide. Okay, the U.S. Congress established the DBE program in 1982 to ensure non-discrimination in the award and administration of U.S. DOT-assisted contracts, to also help remove barriers to the participation of DBEs in the U.S. DOT-assisted contracts, and assist the development of firms that can compete successfully in the marketplace outside of the DBE program. Also, to ensure non-discrimination in the administration of Department of Transportation assisted contracts, to also create a level playing field on which DBEs can compete fairly for DOT-assisted contracts, to ensure that the department's DBE program is narrowly tailored in accordance with applicable law, and to ensure that only firms that fully meet eligibility standards in the 49 CFR Part 26 are permitted to participate as DBEs. Okay, so the oversight agencies of our program include the U.S. DOT, Department of Transportation, the Federal Highway Administration, and the Federal Transit Administration. Okay, our primary role, DOT's primary roles and responsibilities include developing rules and regulations, providing guidance and oversight, and reviewing appeals on certification decisions. The FHWA and the FTA's primary roles and responsibilities include direct oversight of state DOTs. They offer technical assistance and support, and they monitor and enforce DBE program requirements on U.S. DOT-assisted contracts. Caltrans' primary roles and responsibilities include certifying eligible DBE firms, calculating overall DBE participation goals, establishing contract-specific DBE goals where applicable, and monitoring and enforcing DBE program requirements on USDOT-assisted contracts. All right, the CUCP, which is the California Unified Certification Program. Each state Department of Transportation is required to have a unified certification program, which is the CUCP. Member agencies may consist of both certifying and non-certifying agencies, and all CUCP member agencies operate under one agreement. All right, so in Northern California, and this may change a little bit. I know a lot of the local places are kind of moving some of their workload to our main office, but for now they do have different county agencies that do certification. So Alpine, Butte, Colusa, Del Norte, El Dorado, Glenn, Humboldt, Inyo, Lake Lassen, Mendocino, Modoc, Mono, Nevada, Placer, Plumas, Sacramento, Shasta, Sierra, is it Siskiyou, Sutter, Tehama, Trinity, Yolo, and Yuba counties. And in our Bay Area and Central Valley, it covers those counties there: Alameda, Amador, Calaveras, Contra Costa, Fresno, Kings, Madera, Marin, Mariposa, Merced, Monterey, Napa, San Benito, San Francisco, San Joaquin, San Mateo, Santa Clara, Santa Cruz, Solana, Sonoma, Stanislaus, Tulare, and Tuolumne counties. So in the Bay Area, Central Valley, you have BART is one of our certifying agencies. San Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency is one of our certifying agencies. Santa Clara Valley Transportation Authority, San Mateo County Transit District, and City of Fresno are all certifying agencies currently. And then down south, in Imperial, Riverside, San Diego, Kern, Los Angeles, Orange, San Bernardino, San Luis Obispo, Santa Barbara, and Ventura, of course, City of LA and LA Metro, which is Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority, and also Caltrans, the California Department of Transportation. They all cover those counties as well as the Los Angeles area. So, of course, the City of Los Angeles and LA Metro covers those other counties as well. Okay, so some of the DBE requirements include ownership. The owner has to have at least 51% ownership and at least 51% control. They must be socially and economically disadvantaged. They must be independent, and when we say independent, means that the firm owner can independently run the business. Like, they don't need someone else to run the business. The personal net worth is important, and it must be updated. If you're certified or plan to get certified, keep that in mind, that your business size and your personal net worth, anytime they change, they must be updated. Next slide. Uh-oh. Next slide. Oh. All right, so ownership. Again, the owner must be own at least 51% and must be socially and economically disadvantaged. So that can come in any combination. as long as the main firm owner, the disadvantaged firm owner, is 51% owner. Next slide. So socially and economically disadvantaged includes these over here on your left. So your Asian Pacific, your Black, your Hispanic, Native American, Subcontinent Asian, and women. And these are all part of the CFR 49, Part 2667. Now, if you feel like you do not fall into one of these categories, you can submit what we call a personal narrative. And what that would do is you would basically explain to us what makes you socially and economically disadvantaged. It could be an experience. It could be, some people give their life story. But yes, you would have to submit a personal narrative that would state why you believe you're socially and economically disadvantaged. Next slide, please. All right, your personal net worth for right now, this was just changed last May, up to $2,047,000, and that's the personal net worth of the majority owner. So if there's more than one owner, we're only calculating this information for the disadvantaged owner that has at least 51% or more. Now, there may be some cases in which an individual whose P&W is less than the 2.047 million and may not be regarded as economically disadvantaged. All right. So on the personal net worth statement, when you complete that, we're going to ask for things like your assets and your liabilities. For your assets, we want cash and cash equivalents. For your brokerage and custodial accounts and stocks and bonds, we need any assets held in a trust, any loans to shareholders and other receivables not listed, real estate and life insurance. Also, one thing that's not on there, if you have ownership in other businesses, that monetary figure would also be considered your asset. For your liabilities, mortgages on real estate, both primary and investment, loans on life insurance or any unpaid taxes or any unpaid loans. Next slide, please. All right, supplemental form required with application. The owner reports asset and liabilities that he/she owns or is deemed to own and excludes the following. Individual's ownership interest in the applicant firm, individual's equity in his or her primary residence. So although we want the information for your primary residence, it has to be on there. However, it's not calculated in our calculations for the P&W, just your investment real estate. And then retirement accounts, IRA, 401k, 403b, pensions, and associated tax and interest penalties must be reported on the P&W, but will not be counted. Next slide, please. Okay, control. Control of the business means the daily business operations are controlled by one or more of the socially economic disadvantaged business owners. So that's pretty cut and dry. Can you control the business? Or do you control the business? Independence, only an independent business may be certified as a DBE. So what that means is sometimes some firms may use, I don't know, maybe there's a business in their office building and they share resources or something of the sort. Anything that you have to rely on another business for will disqualify you for independence. So you must be able to independently run your business. All right, next slide, please. Business size. So a 5-year average gross receipts cannot exceed 31.84 million, and that does vary by industry. And we check that figure by NAICS codes. So that's how we check that one. And then firms must meet both SBA and DBE statutory caps. So each business type, if you will, we'll have a different number or statutory cap that we're looking for. So it just all depends on your business, the business size, and the industry, like it says. Next slide, please. Okay, the certification process. First, of course, you submit your application and supporting documents online. We do not accept anything by mail. I know someone said that earlier. I believe it was Josh. So yes, we don't accept anything by mail. The process is it comes in, we have staff support services. They will review the application for completeness. Once they deem it complete, that's when it's going to be assigned to an actual analyst for review. What the analyst is going to do, review the documents. If they need anything, they'll request it. You'll also be required to do what's called a site visit, and that's where the analyst will go through a series of questionnaires and a series of questions, and then after that's completed, the analyst will conduct the final review for eligibility and recommendation. Just keep in mind that that analyst is just the first line of eligibility. Your application is going to be reviewed 2 more times for a final answer. So yes, once the analyst is done, it goes to the next 2 levels of review. And then as long as everyone is on the same page, you will be certified. All right, so I'm going to go through this, but this is kind of the long way to get to the application. But yes, you'll start at the dot.ca.gov, click programs, then civil rights, and then the California Unified Certification Program. Next slide. And then once you get to, you're going to find a certifying agency, and that's, you can pick Caltrans, or if your local certifying agency comes up, you'll pick your local certifying agency. Next step. So details. I'm going to give you guys a much easier way to get through this. But yes, you're going to answer these questions, follow along. You're going to click the Department of Transportation. You're going to click apply or renew certification. And this is where you also go to do your annual review. And then you'll go ahead and create an account. Now, before you create an account, always search for your firm. Sometimes firms don't even realize that they have already maybe started the process or maybe created a login. So always search for your firm first to make sure you don't already have an account, and then you can go ahead and create an account. Next slide. All right, so new online certification profile account data. So we're going to need your tax ID, your business information, such as the name, the address, phone number, website if you have it. Contact information will be for the business firm, and the company contact person. Yeah, let's go to the next slide. All right, the North American Industry Classification System, the NAICS code. That is what we use for this certification. So standard used by federal agencies in classifying business establishments for United States business economy. DBE regulations require NAICS codes to be assigned during the certification process to describe a firm's primary business activities. Authority provided in 49 CFR Part 26.73, A1, 2, 3, and 4. And work category codes. So this is something specific to us here in California. It's something we use basically to help you guys get more opportunities. Caltrans created the work category system to provide greater specificity when you know what I'm trying to say, when defining the work code and a DBE that the DBE performs. Authority provided in 49 CFR 2673A and 5. Click the Access the Work Code Description Chart link on the caltrans.dbesystem.gov. Certification renewal. So your certification does not expire. However, it can be suspended or removed. A declaration of eligibility and tax return for the prior years required annually to verify that the DBE is still eligible. So if you go through the process and you do get certified, that is your annual responsibilities to make sure you submit that declaration of eligibility, which basically, states that nothing's changed about the business, or if there are any changes, you would state them there. And the changes that we're looking for is like business ownership, address change, things like that. And again, remember, if you are certified, whenever your PNW changes or any of those major changes happen, like the owners or the address, those really should be given to us right away at the time of the change. Okay, next slide. So some of the things to remember is use the supporting documents checklist when preparing your application process. Complete each section of the application and indicate why it may not be applicable. So a lot of times we'll get newer businesses who apply, and there's just things that we ask for that they just either don't have yet or, it's not applicable. Please do not leave any section blank where we ask for something. If you can't provide it, put a letter in there or something stating why you can't provide it or why it's not applicable. Sign and date both the application and the personal network statement. And then if you ever have any questions, you can email the dbe.certification@dot.ca.gov, or you can call 916-324-1700 between 8 and 5, Monday through Friday. Okay, remaining in good standing as a certified DBE. Notify the certifying agency immediately of changes to ownership, business structure, primary business activities, etc. Make sure your contact information is accurate and up to date in the online DBE database, and make sure you submit your declaration of eligibility and tax returns annually. Suspension of the DBE certification. Material changes affecting DBE certification eligibility. So again, that would be maybe a change in ownership where the new 51% owner is not disadvantaged, or maybe there's information that was withheld and we discovered it. That would definitely be a suspension. We do have a system where we're reminding you ahead of time to do your annual, or that your annual is coming up. So if you don't respond to those emails after a certain amount of time, you will go into, you'll get put into the process to start suspension. So please be aware of your emails from us. Make sure you know when your annual is, because you want to get that done in a timely manner. I will say it doesn't happen immediately. It is a very timely process, because we want to give you the time to make sure you get your paperwork and submitted and everything. But just know to look out for those things and be on top of that. When a DBE fails to file a declaration, when a DBE fails to file a declaration of eligibility, timely or provide supporting documents. All right, the effects of suspension include a suspended DBE is not eligible to receive credit toward a DBE contract goal on a new contract. Any work a DBE performs on a contract received during the suspension does not count toward Caltrans' overall annual DBE participation goal. And a suspended DBE may continue to perform under an existing contract executed before the DBE receives a notice of suspension and may be counted towards the contract goal. Okay, resolution of a suspension. If the DBE believes it's no longer eligible, it may voluntarily withdraw from the program. If the DBE believes its eligibility should be reinstated, it must provide information to support that it maintains eligibility under the changed circumstances. A certifying agency must make an eligibility determination within 30 days of receiving information from a suspended DBE. The decision to suspend a DBE is not appealable to the USDBE. So when you do your original application, if your application is denied for any reason, you'll get a detailed letter stating why, and you'll also get information on how to appeal that decision. So this is saying when you're suspended, it's not appealable. So next slide. Caltrans Certification Branch contact, same email, dbe.certification@dot.ca.gov. Oh, perfect. Is there a fee for applying? No. Can you mail the application? No. But you can use this website, caltrans.dbesystem.com, to do the application. You can literally go straight there, scroll down to the bottom, and it'll say new application or renew application. So you can just go straight there to get to the application process. How long does it take to get a response after I submit my application? After Caltrans receive all complete and necessary paperwork, it can take up to 1 month. So what happens is that 1 month is that time frame where our staff services is reviewing it for completeness. Once it's assigned to an analyst, the analyst has up to 90 days to get it complete. Next slide, please. And thank you. For questions or additional information, please contact your local district small business liaison. I also have another bit of information I want to share real quick. It's an email address for our small business advocate department. It's a newer department, but they are there to help newer certified firms through the process of, obtaining contracts. And their email address is smallbusinessadvocate@dot.ca.gov. And if you guys have any questions, it'd be my pleasure to answer.
Hi, Nikisha. Thank you so much for presenting.
My pleasure.
In the interest of time, we are actually going to hold questions until after Adrian's presentation. We're going to move right into Adrian.
Okay.
And then we'll take questions at the end if anyone has time to hang on and answer some questions. So thank you so much, Nikisha. We appreciate you taking the time to be with us today.
No,
and
thank you for having me.
Yeah, welcome, Adrian.
Hey everyone, my name is Adrian Canada. I'm a Associate Governmental Program Analyst here in Caltrans District 11 in our Budgets Unit, and I'm just going to pretty quickly go over the procurement process overview from the viewpoint of some of our buyers in the district. Slide, please. So what is the procurement process? So it's our internal and external process that Caltrans buyers use to purchase goods and or services from the private sector, businesses like all of yours. And the distinction between goods and services for us, for the buyers, is actually pretty important, as it kind of sets off a chain reaction in sort of determining if I need goods, I need to complete XYZ paperwork. If I need services, I need WXY paperwork. So in that distinction is usually, I should say, is made based on where the majority of the value is coming from. If, say, I'm buying toilet paper, well, the majority of that value is coming from just purchasing it. It's the good itself. So then I'm going to complete a purchase order. If I need janitorial services, then of course, majority of that value is derived from the service itself. I'm going to look into some type of service contract. All right, next slide. So why is this important to you? You might think, why do I need to know kind of what buyers at Caltrans look for or need to do, and how is this applicable to me? So for yourself, it's to familiarize yourself and your team with the documentation needed by Caltrans. There's a lot of documentation that we need. from vendors to move forward, whether it's for a good or a service, to gain some insight into some of the documentation. So you're not completely surprised by the amount of documentation we need, and to learn about the different contracting methods and what they mean for you and your business. Next slide, and we can skip this slide actually. So real quick, I'm going to go over the acquisition sequence for a good. So typically our buyers, the first thing that we're going to do is actually check our Caltrans warehouses. This is something that we have to do via policy. We're going to first check our local district warehouse for the commodities, and then we're going to check our statewide Sacramento materials and warehouse. If they don't have the goods that we need, then we go to the Department of General Services warehouse, and usually for things like furniture and whatnot. If they don't have it, then we have to go look at the California Prison Industry Authority to see if they supply the goods. We have to. We can't skip that these steps. If they don't, then we go to the LPA, Leverage Procurement Agreement. Then we check if there are any leverage procurement agreements that are mandatory or non-mandatory that covers the goods or services, well, here in this instance, the goods that we would want to procure, say toilet paper. If there isn't, then we go and we look for DVS certified small businesses or DVBE, Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise Suppliers. And through my experience, I go directly to CaliProcure and I pull up a list directly from CaliProcure. So that is a very good resource. That's the first one that we use. And then if needed, we go out to more larger non-certified vendors. All right, next slide. For services, we have several different types of contracting methods. Invitation for bid, the most common method. Request for proposal, this is for things such as consultant services. Request for qualifications for purchases between $10,000 to $50,000. A non-competitive bid, when no competition exists and the department can fully justify the needs. I haven't really ran into one of those yet. Invitation for price quote. This is specific to small business and micro businesses and disabled veteran business enterprises. And then service agreements under $10,000. So that would be any service agreement, of course, under that $10,000 threshold. Those are typically not advertised through CaliProcure. Let's see. And next slide, please. So the solicitation packages. So a couple examples. For the less than 10,000, two quotes would be requested. I believe it might be 3 now. And then for the small business / disabled veteran business enterprise solicitation package, with those dollar limitations, 2 quotes from PGS certified small businesses, and they must be responsive. Next slide. So the CalCard payment mechanism, a Visa card, is a very popular payment mechanism, both with Caltrans buyers and the vendors. It's always good to get the payment as early as you can. So we utilize this to acquire goods and services from suppliers. The single purchase limit it has to be just under $10,000. That's the maximum that we here at Caltrans can purchase on a CalCard. Additionally, for services, we have to have it in place a CalCard service agreement It's a bit more paperwork, a little bit more involved, but that allows us to pay for those services utilizing that credit card. And the dollar limitation does still apply with CCSA. Slide, please. Thank you. So, real quick, taxes. The state doesn't pay federal taxes on purchases, only state sales tax and or other use taxes. Of course, you can locate your local tax rate using that link down below. And then real quick, fees and surcharges. So CalCard, we cannot pay fees and surcharges. This is very, very important bit of information, especially for vendors. We can't pay any late payment penalties, late charges, service fees, credit card fees, handling fees, any fee that doesn't result in a direct value to the state. We have to dispute these charges. That's pretty important to know. We're kind of hands tied. I can't pay credit card fees. Next slide, please. So qualifying regulations. So some of the things that we look for, of course, the small business and DVBE certification. If you have that, please provide that to us. Although we can look it up ourselves, and we do. Your California seller's permit. We also look at if you're a target of economic sanctions. We look at your tax delinquency status, both with FTB and CDTFA. And then we look in the California Regulatory Notice Register to see if there's any discrimination in eligibility and exceptions for our contractors. Right, next slide. So these are some of the documents that we are required to have on file for CalCard transactions. Most of these documents are also required for other types of purchases, not just CalCard. But it kind of gives you a good idea of how much is involved on the buying side and is required from the vendor in terms of documentation. So it can be a little bit cumbersome, I know, to deal with all these forms, but they are needed. It is policy, and we have to have them. So things like your seller's permit, your certifications, a pay data record form if you're not already within our system, CalCard certification if we're purchasing via a CalCard, tax delinquency status, of course, the California Regulatory Notice Register status, recycled content certification, commercially useful function, DARFR Contracting Act, all of our quotes, and of course itemized invoices and sales receipts. Right, next slide, please. So quickly, information technology procurement. So IT purchases refer to any hardware, software, or services that interface or are connected to the Caltrans network. And these have a separate sort of process that is different from buying non-IT goods and or services. Where am I? Sorry, looking at my notes. So yes, so every IT purchase requires an IT justification that we submit to our IT department, and our IT department will review the long list of all the state IT contracts to determine if we can make this purchase through an LPA, kind of like you saw on the other slide, and if we have to do it through a mandatory LPA, then hands tied, we have to do it. If it can't be sold through a mandatory LPA and it can be purchased from a small business, that is our preferred method. We go with that. Or at least we try to go with that as our first option if it can't be purchased through a mandatory LPA. Then after, of course, we receive IT approvals, then we may proceed with purchasing the equipment or services through the methods that we already discussed, including CalCard, of course. Next slide. So generative AI disclosure, I put this in here. I believe the last year's had this in there, but there's been some changes, specifically starting February 20th, 2025. The Gen AI reporting and fact sheet form, the standard 1000, is retired and no longer required. So I'm sure some of you were familiar with that form. We're no longer utilizing that. Next slide. So the payee data record and CalCard certification. So if you're not within our system, or you've never sold to Caltrans, well, we have to put you in our system first, and that requires a couple documentation. So to put you into our financial system, we need a payee data record, a standard 204, and that is going to list your business name, some real basic information, and then if you, for CalCard purchases, we need an ADM 3026, and it's same sort of information, your primary business name, address, all that good stuff, and it must be the same, the name that you put on either the standard 204, the payee data record, or the CalCard certification ADM 3026. It has to be the same as the name that is on the price quotes, the estimates, the proposals, the invoices, the receipts. When the card gets charged, it must show up on the statement of accounts as the same. If it isn't, then we have a problem because it will be flagged. All right, next slide. So CalRecycle goals. So state agencies must procure recycled products instead of non-recycled products whenever recycled products are available, if the fitness and quality are equal with no more than 10% greater cost over non-recycled products. So with every purchase of that, a vendor must complete and submit a post-consumer content certification form, the CalRecycle 74, to the district, certifying the percentage of the recycled products for every purchase. Next slide, please. And then we come to our commercially useful function form. So this form is a requirement for all small business and DVBE contractors, subcontractors, and suppliers that bid or participate in a state contract, regardless of whether it's a verbal or written solicitation or paid via CalCard. So this form needs to be completed as well. This is one of the forms we need. And next slide. So I know I kind of sped through that. I know because we're low on time, but that is all I have. And I think we can open up for Q&A.
Awesome. Thank you, Adrian. For Q&A at this portion, we'll kind of probably bounce back between me, you, and Nikisha since we skipped the Q&A after her portion. But before we start, I just wanted to say that we have reached the end of our presentation. So thank you all for joining this morning's presentation and our workshop for Prepare for the Fair. We hope to see you all next week at our Procurement and Resource Fair. If you have any lingering questions or need any additional help with anything at all regarding what you learned today, you're welcome to reach out to d11.smallbusiness@dot.ca.gov, and our team does free one-on-one meetings to help small businesses kind of navigate some of those pesky portals, some of the websites we reviewed today. So if you need any help like that, you're welcome to reach out to us. And we hope to see you next week. If you have to log off, that's absolutely okay, but for those who have questions, we will answer them now. I do see one in the chat from Fredo mentioning that lots of your projects would fall under the $50,000 mark, which would make them rarely featured on Cali Procure. With that said, you can still explore past purchases on Cali Procure. Any purchase of any dollar amount, it could be 43 cents of a purchase, and it would appear on past purchases because they're public dollars, so you have access to all of that information. So that is definitely somewhere I would refer you to. And if you need further help or additional help, definitely meet with us. Okay, Stephen S., what if you have a DBA that is an abbreviation of your company name, like ESP for Environmental Service Products? That's okay. You can have a DBA. Lots of these registries like Cali Procure or the B2G Now, which is our system that holds our DBE certifications, they have a space where you can write down what your DBA is, so you can be findable by either your official name or your DBA. So that's okay.
And real quick, if I could kind of chime in on that same question.
Absolutely.
If you're referencing the standard 204 and the payee data record to get you into Caltrans's accounting system, there is a DBA section listed on that. So as long as you include your DBA on that form as well, you should be good to go.
Perfect. Thanks, Adrian. Any other questions? All right. Clarifying question for Josh. For small business certification, do all owners need to live in California or majority ownership? Oh, it looks like Josh hopped off, but you know what I can do, Sarah, is I will write down your name and I'll follow up with Josh, and we'll get that answer to you. Okay, this one says my SB and SBPW certifications say they are in good standing, active through 2027. Do I still need to submit information annually? That is a great question for Josh. Oh, great, your hand is raised. Did you have insight for that question?
Actually, my hand was raised though because I wanted to address Fredo's little clarification for Fredo or a suggestion, but in good standing, actually, do I still need to submit information annually? So those are handled, the small business certifications are handled by the folks at DGS, and you would need, whatever the requirements that they set up for you when you register, you would need to follow those registrations. I'm not sure how frequently they review standings, that even though you're technically in good standing through 2027, if they're advising that you need to submit information annually, only they would be able to tell you whether you did or did not need to send the information. So that's, I would defer you right back to the folks at the Department of General Services for answers on that one on the website.
Awesome, thank you, Greg. Did you want to speak to Fredo's question real quick?
Yeah, I kind of like Fredo. Most of my projects are under $50,000, so this is another opportunity. I'm not sure what Fredo does, but Cali Procure is statewide. That's a statewide listing. Caltrans, you might also want to register yourself with Caltrans as well in that contractor corner that I showed you guys earlier, because that would give you Caltrans specific business that may, it might be a minor B contract for $25,000. We would post it on the CSCR. We would post it ourselves. It should also go on the CSCR, but it's just another opportunity, another avenue for you to get some kind of notification that the type of services or good that you provide is being put out to bid. But keep doing what you're doing. Meet people, talk to them, and network. That's how it starts. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg. All right, and for the find past purchases, when you're looking that up, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the opening page of Cali Procure. At the front, you're going to hover over Quick Links, and there's going to be a drop down, and one of those options under Quick Links is going to say Find Past Purchases, and you're just going to click on that. Type in your keyword in the description box, and that's how you find it. If you have any difficulty with that after this session, just follow up with our team at d11.smallbusiness. I'm putting it in the chat again, just in case it gets buried. And we will meet with you one-on-one and show you what it looks like and how to find that information, okay?
Hey, quickly on the do all the owners need to live in California? I believe it's a yes. I believe Josh said all owners must be domiciled in California.
Thank you, Nikisha. Glad you caught that. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Again, we will send you this presentation and the recording after this. Not sure where to enter UNSPSC codes. Honestly, the past purchases skipper search is not the most user friendly. So I recommend, instead of typing in those codes, I recommend typing in keywords, some of the products that you sell or the services you provide, into the description box, and that might help you find a little bit better buyers who are purchasing what you're providing. Erica, yes, you can register same day of the event. If you're unable to register online beforehand, you'll be able to register when you get there.